Okay, so in today's video, the fifth video episode of this game, I think it is, this is going to be the second last episode, so we will finish this game tomorrow in tomorrow's episode, episode 6. And in today's video, we are going to be doing pretty much everything that is left except for implementing the game over part of the game and restarting the game, so you can restart the level once you've collided with, not the level, restart the game once you've collided with some of the objects. So in today's episode, we are going to focus on fixing a bunch of different things. I have got some new assets that we can use in the game, so I've imported them and I've deleted all the old ones. So the game actually, it does work, but you can't see the animation for the dinosaur. In fact, you can't even see the dinosaur itself. You can't see all the cactus, all the plants that we set up. We need to go and redo those. And we also need to fix our collider that we started working on yesterday, but it turns out we were just using the wrong collider, so we can change that. I think it's just a simple box collider that we'll use. And then we will start working on the UI elements of it. So like this, implementing the score, the UI for the game over, and the button for that. But we won't actually get it working. We'll do that in tomorrow's episode. So let's jump into the game and then let's start that, because we have a lot of stuff to do before the end of this episode. So the first thing we need to do is fix what we have broken. So let's play the game and see what we need to do. So you can see that we don't have a dinosaur and we don't have our cactus, but they are still being instantiated into the scene. So here they are. And you can see that they are not colliding with our game object here. So we need to go and fix that. So first things first, let's go and redo our prefab. So we have cactus 1 here. This we can just drag in our sprite. So art cactus, we can drag, I've got a bunch of different ones. So on the first cactus, we'll drag in our small one with just the one. We might need to scale this back down to 1 and 1, and then we need to edit our collider. Let's just go make this bigger like that, and then we're just going to play the game after we've done this one so that we can see what this looks like in our scene. So we might have to change the size of it once it is spawned into the scene. So yeah, we need to make it a little bit bigger. So let's go and scale it up. Actually, let's wait for another one to come in. Okay, so there's another one. So let's go and see if we scale that up to what size do we need. So let's try 2. 2 by 2. That should be fine. Yeah, we'll leave it at 2 by 2. And then for our spawner, let's just go and move it up a little bit so that it, where is it? So that it looks like the cactus is not coming out of the bottom of the screen, it's coming out of the ground. So let's try that. So let's just go and set up our other prefab. So let's go and do this one, cactus 2. This can go back down to 2 by 2. We will delete our collider because we can just go and add a new one on once we've got our new cactus in it. So cactus 2, we will make this one the big one, like that. You can go and add in a box collider 2D onto it. Let's just add a 2D one. Not that I don't think it really makes much of a difference, but let's do that. And then we also, let's just, actually no, we won't disable that. For now, we will go back to our prefabs and copy that and make a completely new one. So this is going to be cactus 3. The actual image will be the small double cactus. So we can go and reset this and just make it shorter so the dinosaur can jump over it like that. The scale is also 2 by 2, so that's fine. And then the next one is copy and paste this. And then this one we will say cactus 4, and then the image will have to be the large one, large double, I think. Can't remember which ones we've used and which ones we haven't used. So this is going to be cactus 4. Let's go and reset that, and then yeah, so let's go reset. We've done that. Okay, so that looks fine. This one needs to be cactus 3, I believe. It doesn't really matter. You can name them whatever you want, but we'll just do that. Rename file, and then let's go back to our spawner, and then we should have a objects an array here that we can just drag them in. So element, let's do element 1 is going to be cactus 1, cactus 2, we don't need to do this because they're already there. Cactus 3 will be element 2, and cactus 4 will be element 3. So let's give that a test and see. We shouldn't have to change anything. So there's one of our cactus, which is, okay, so those are massive. We need to change those sizes. Okay, so let's go and see what we have to do here. Cactus 1, that needs to be 2 by 2 on the scale. We'll save that. Cactus 2, let's go see which one it is that needs to be scaled down. Cactus 2 is, I mean, they're all massive. So let's see, cactus 2 needs to be scaled down. Let's go 1 by 1. And I believe it's going to be cactus 4 because I think these were the big ones. So let's try that and see if that's good enough. Okay, but now we need to go and reposition them at the bottom. All right. So, I mean, it's better. But now let's go and just push our... You know what? I'm going to delete these ones. Mainly because it's just going to make our spawner complicated because we now have to factor in the different heights of them. So we're going to stay with our 2 different ones. So just get rid of this one, delete that one, and delete this one. So cactus 1 and cactus 2. Okay, so let's test that out and see. We might have to move it down slightly. So that's cactus 3 and cactus 1. Okay, so that's fine. But I'm just going to shift down our spawner slightly so that it looks like, maybe a little bit more, so that it looks like our cactus are actually coming out of the ground. So you should be able to see them kind of overlapping. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we could probably push it up a little bit. Maybe like that. Let's try that. Oh, that's not going to save because I did it while we were in gameplay. So I'll move it up a little bit like that and then play the game. Okay, so that's better. Now let's just move it down a little bit. Okay, so that's fine. So that sorts out our obstacles that are spawning. And the only thing we need to go and change now is the movement of them. So we should go and actually we'll leave that for later. What we'll do now is just sort out our dinosaurs so we can actually go and get the animation working as well as allow our player to jump. So we'll scale this back to 1 and 1 because remember we had to scale it up to 5 so that we could actually see it. So there's our dinosaur. We can now see our dinosaur. We just have to go and make the animation. So here's our dinosaur. You can see it's not blurry anymore. So can we jump over these? We can. Okay, cool. So I am going to go to our dinosaur and we need to edit our collider. So where's our scene? Actually, let's just go and reset this. Reset. Okay, so that should be fine. That should now allow our dinosaur to sit right on top of the ground, which it does, although it's not working. This needs to have, it needs to have I think it has to have a ground layer. Yes, children. So that we can jump because it doesn't detect if we are on the ground. Okay, so that's fine. We just need to go and shift it down a little bit so that actually we can't do that. What we will do is we'll make this like that so that we can kind of see an overlap. Not that it really matters, but let's test that out. It's not the most important thing. Okay, we'll leave it like that. Okay, so you can jump over the objects and you can also collide with them. So we need to do that. This is where we are going to have our game over being used. So when we collide with one of those objects, we then go and call the game over function, which then ends the game. So let's go and sort out our animation because we want that animation for our dinosaur. So in the animation tab, let's go and create a new animation. I did delete our original one just because we gonna have to recreate it. So let's just go back and delete those quick. Where is it? Assets. art, no. Font, no. Materials, no. Prefabs, scenes, scripts, nope. Okay, so clearly not. So let's go and create a new animation for a dinosaur. So create one, and this is going to be called run. We'll just create that. Let's create a new folder called animation. We'll create it in here, save it, and then we can drag our dinosaur, our two run, what's it called? That's a bit fast. Two run sprites. It's pretty much just each leg that looks like it's moving. If we bring this one in here, does that work? Okay, so that helps. So let's move that like that. Okay, so that looks a lot better than what we did have. So that's fine. We can go and save that. And then that should be it. So let's play the game and see what that looks like. So we now should see our dinosaur running, which it does. That looks pretty good. So what we could probably do is we could probably increase the speed of the animation as the speed of the game increases, but I probably doubt we'll do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go and change the gravity of our dinosaur. We'll make that 3, just so that so that dinosaur actually falls down a lot quicker, and then we are actually able to still jump over the obstacles, but also reach the ground in time to jump for the next one. So that's fine. That looks good. All right. So what else do we have to do? We now need to we need to go and destroy our game objects, I think, because we haven't done that yet. So let's see. Here's our dinosaur. Okay, so you can see that only one type is getting destroyed, and that is because when I tested this game with the new colliders, it did work. So we need to go and change the other ones. So in our prefabs folder, I believe it's the cactus one that has the new collider on it. So I just replaced I think it was what was it? It was one of the colliders, the polygon collider, which we had originally on the two assets. I replaced it with the box collider. So cactus 1 has that on already. And so does cactus 3. Interesting. So I'm just going to remove that. And then add another box collider on it. And then that should be fine. So let's go to our scene. We can lower this down, so let's edit it and shift that down a bit so we can actually jump over it, and let's test this out and see if it works. So let's go to our game. So that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Why is that? Why does it work with one and not both? Let's check it out. Let's check our script. Do they both have obstacle tags on them? They do both have obstacle tags on, or at least that one does, and so does this one. Move left, rigid body. Oh, so maybe we have to add a rigid body. So let's go and add a rigid body onto this one, and then that should be fine. So we should be able to destroy all of our cactus now. So let's just watch and ignore the fact that it's going through our dinosaur, because that's clearly not supposed to happen. Let's just go and jump. Okay, so you can see that all our cactus now are getting destroyed, which is great. That's exactly what we want. Perfect. We're getting there. So let's go and start the UI now. So what we want to do is also, before we do that, I did import a new font that we're going to use for this game. It's called Public Pixel. So in order to use this, we need to go and create a font asset. So let's go. If you don't have TextMesh Pro, you're going to need to install that from the Unity asset store, I think it is. So let's go and create a font asset, and now that should allow us to use that font in our TextMesh Pro. So for our text, where's this? Let's focus on this. Here we had a score label that I think we added in our previous episode. If we didn't, all you have to do is create a canvas and then add, right click, and then create UI text mesh pro. Okay, so let's go and change the font. So for our font, we can simply drag in this one, and that should be fine. So you can see that font looks quite good. The only problem is it's white, and so is the background. So we need to change that. Let's change it to the same color as our dinosaur. So I'm going to use the picker tool to pick it. It's a bit light, so I'm going to make it a little bit transparent so you can see a little bit more gray. We'll align it to the right. We'll disable the wrapping so it's all on one line. Then we can shift it to the left a little bit. So on the X is going to be minus 100 maybe. No, minus, let's go and make that bigger. Let's go make it minus 150 like that. So that's going to house our score, but we don't want it to say score. We're just going to say 0, 0, 0, 0 like that. And then we can go and align it to the right. And then let's just position it back on the right hand side of the screen. So this is going to be minus 50 like that. And then we'll add another 0. So that's what our score is going to look like. It's just going to update as the time goes by. So the score in this game is going to be based on time rather than distance that you travel with your dinosaur. So as the game speeds up, so will your score. So the faster the game is, the faster your score climbs, in other words. So let's go and get this sorted. So we need to have, do we have any script that handles our score? Dinosaur global, no, but we need to make a score. Let's create a public static int. Actually, let's make it a float, and this is going to be a score. And it's going to be equal to 0 at the start. So let's go and say, we don't have a script for it, so let's go and create one. On our canvas, I'm just going to add a new script onto our canvas called UI manager. So in this script, we are going to handle the update of our UI, well, basically just our score. So let's go and open that up. We can go and push or move that into our scripts folder. So in here, we need a reference to that label. So this is going to be a serialized field. We're going to have to import it. So this is going to be using text mesh pro like that. And then it's going to be a text mesh pro UGUI. And then this is going to be called our score label. Okay, so I don't think we need our start method. We can go in our update method, we can go and say global.score is going to be equal to global.gamespeed times time.delta time. So hopefully that will work and that will give us a score. And then for our score, we can go and set it on our label by using score label.text. And that is going to be equal to math f. And then in here, we need to actually, let's just go and say, we need to round it up to a integer so we don't have decimals. So let's go and say math f dot, I think it's floor to int. So that should round it down to the nearest integer, and we want to round down our global dot score. So whatever our score is, let's go and round it down to the nearest integer, and then we need to convert that to a string. Okay, so let's go and test that out and see if it works. So I'll have to drag in our text into there, and then hopefully that works. Clearly it doesn't. Let's go and print something out and see what's happening. Print. I feel like it's our score, not our score, our game speed. Let's go and say print global dot game speed. because I feel like that's not doing anything. So ground, let's see, move left, game, global.game speed is equal to initial game, which sets it to be 5. And then in the update, set the game speed to increase by the increase of speed times time.delta time. Okay, so that's fine. So why is it not working? Let's go and print it out and see if it is printing out. Oh, hold on. Yeah, we did add it onto there. Let's print that out and see. Okay, so we are printing it out, but it's not being set. Okay. That's a bit weird. Let's print this out. So let's go and say print all of this out so that we get rid of the decimals and we can just see the full integer. So this should increase and should print out 0. So let's pause that and scroll all the way down and see what we're on. Okay, so we're still on 0. So that's why it's not working. Can we just round it off? Round math f dot round like that. Let's try that and see what that does. Because we just want to round it off to the nearest integer. Okay, so that's still not working. That's quite annoying. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do public score is public float score is equal, actually, and then in our update method we can go and say score is equal to global.score. Let's see what this gives us. So we'll comment all of that out so we don't get printouts all the time. So let's go and play the game, and then on our canvas we should see here is our score, but it's not been updated, so we need to figure that out why. Okay, so that's not good. We need to go and figure that out. But on our prefabs, let's go to our cactus one. We don't want any rotation, so we've frozen that, and we can't really freeze our position on the x-axis because we want it to move. So we need to figure out how to stop that collision movement. We'll do that in the next episode. So what do we have to do in the next episode? In the next episode, we need to finish our game over menu and make it actually work. We also need to fix the game speed as well as the game score. And then we also, I don't know if we have fixed it already, but we also need to fix the speed of the obstacles, so our cactus that move from left to right on the screen. We need to go and fix their movement. And then we also need to start working on implementing the game over and restarting the game once the player has collided with one of the objects or the obstacles, and then this should trigger the game to restart as long as the player presses the replay button. So that's what we're going to be doing in tomorrow's episode. Hopefully it'll be our final episode. Actually, it will be our final episode. It might have to be slightly longer just to get it done, because I want to get back to our other games, our cube games, our maze and our ruling game, as well as the island game. But yeah, this was just a nice week-long, or supposed to be week-long game series that we'll probably do more often. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. So goodbye.